All right. So we are just going to get started here a little bit early. For anyone who joins us in the meantime, we're going to get the webinar presentation started right at noon, but just wanted to make sure we join early to afford enough time. So we will see you at noon for our Discuss, Connect, Reflect webinar, employing individuals with differing abilities. Hello, everyone. Thank you to those who are starting to join the meeting. I know that we're going to have a bunch of people um, joining us as we get ready to start our webinar. We're going to start promptly at 12 p.m. And so we will see you all and be able to get things going here in just about a minute. Hello, everybody. We are right at the 12 o'clock hour. And so I just want to make sure that being mindful of time, we get things rolling here. Just want to say good afternoon to everyone and thank you for joining us for today's Connect Reflect webinar. My name is Heidi Schultz, and I'm the Workforce Engagement Coordinator at the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber. We're excited to have you with us as we dive into today's important topic, employing individuals with different abilities. We're proud to be able to offer this webinar at no cost, thanks to support from the State of Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, also known as DEED. Through grant funding, the Chamber serves as a subcontractor through the Drive for Five program, and that partnership allows us to bring meaningful impact and impactful content like this to our business and community partners. The purpose of these webinars is to provide training and resources focused on how to best serve, engage, and retain underserved and underemployed populations in the workforce. As we go over today's agenda, I just want to cover a few quick housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be available after the conclusion of the webinar. It's going to be sent out via email along with an attachment with the PowerPoint and list of resources that we go over today. We'll be sharing helpful links and resources in the chat throughout the session. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat during the presentation. We also have time reserved at the end for questions if you have any of those as well. Before we get started, I just want to share the outcomes we have set for today's webinar. First being why hiring
Wealth
individuals
Management Group. This is Heather. How can I help you?
Differing abilities is critical for our workforce and regional economy. How to evaluate and adjust your hiring practices to ensure inclusivity and accessibility. What types of flexible employment models can support success? And what local tools and resources and support networks are available to employers? We do recognize that many of you may already be familiar with the services and some of the tools that we're going to be highlighting today, and that this is not an exhaustive list, as there are other resources also available in our community. However, today's webinar is designed to highlight the value of these resources in addressing workforce challenges, especially as we look to engage underemployed populations more intentionally. Whether it's a refresher or a new perspective, we invite you to think about how this information applies to your unique workforce needs. So now I have the pleasure of introducing today's presenters. We have Abari with North Dakota Vocational Rehabilitation, Jeff with the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, and then we have Ben and Greg, both with the Vocational Training Center. Again, please feel free to drop any questions you may have in the chat throughout today's presentation. We'll be able to get to those at the end. And now, just to get things going, I'd like to start us off with Abari. She's going to be providing information about North Dakota vocational rehabilitation services in our region. Abari, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As stated, my name is Abari Eluzai, and I am the Business Service Specialist and ADA Coordinator for Region 5 of Vocational Rehab here in North Dakota. Next slide, please. So before I jump in, I want to talk about what vocational rehab is. We're a free, no-cost service, open and voluntary service to residents of North Dakota. What a lot of people don't realize is that we actually started way back in the 1920s to help individuals coming back from war to reintegrate into society and into the workforce. It opened up for all residents to assist individuals who have injuries, illnesses, or impairments to maximize their employment opportunities by helping them develop the skills needed for gainful employment. We have a two-model approach serving both our individuals and businesses, and today I'm going to go through both and showcase how they can help your business and your overall community. Next slide, please. So before I dive into our services for individuals and businesses, I wanted to talk about what a disability is, right? When everyone thinks or pictures a disability, they think about a physical disability or limitation, but it goes more than that. A disability is a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or major life activities. This could include mental disabilities such as anxiety or depression, a learning disability such as dyslexia or even color blindness, or an addiction, which could include alcohol withdrawal or alcohol addictions and so much more. And today we'll dive in deeper into how we can service individuals with any of those limitations or disabilities. Next slide, please. So at Vocational Rehab, we assist with the many services for individuals from diagnosis and evaluation all the way to job placements and follow-up. This could look like being able to support them to get a diagnosis because they need one in order to utilize any of our services. We offer also vocational counseling and planning, information and referrals, adaptive equipment to help with retention or to help them keep their job, physical and mental restoration services, employment maintenance, um, transportation, vocational training, which can include supported employment, job coaches, and job placement and follow-up. With it being a voluntary service, individuals are able to come and go as they please once they are registered with a VR counselor. Next slide. As there as it relates to businesses and employers, we have several different ways that we assist our businesses and employers. This includes recruitment, retention, financial incentives, accessibility, and education. So, starting off with recruitment, we ensure that we pre screen all our clients to match your business needs. This could look like meeting with your HR consultants to see what you're looking for and pre screening all of our candidates to make sure that they actually qualify for the job that you're looking for. Another part is retention. So, whether it's assisting in building assistive technology strategies and referrals, we can be able to ensure that we help you keep your employees, as we know that it's more expensive to hire a new employee rather than just keeping the one that you have. So this could look like partnering with ND Assistive to get you adaptive equipment and helping your employees stay in the job. Another part is financial incentives, which include access to on the job training, funds, work opportunity tax credits, and customized employment and supported tax credits. I'm going to talk more about some of the other ways that you can utilize financial incentives to help your business, but those are just some of the ways that we can be able to assist you to ensure that your employee is able to continue to work there and provide you with assistance to keep them as well. Lastly is the last two are accessibility and education. They kind of go hand in hand, accessibility and helping you provide and develop strategies for disability related solutions. This could look like an ADA site assessment and recommendations, ensuring that your space is follows within the ADA requirements, and ensuring that there's a positive impact on the bottom line through helping you create a greater market share. Uh, and the last part is education, ensuring that you have the education needed to know what it means to work with individuals with disability, helping you understand the greater workforce with people with differing abilities, and help increase your staff morale. Next slide, please. So why hire those with differing abilities, right? There are many reasons, but I'm going to talk about three main reasons: employee loyalty, special abilities, and increased market appeal. So the first part is employee loyalty. Research has shown that individuals with special abilities are 25% more likely to stay at a company in comparison to their counterparts. They're more willing to improve on their role and get the support needed, whether it's through VR or different areas, to be able to keep their job rather than look for another job. Another part is special abilities. Individuals with differing abilities have different superpowers that they bring into their job beyond what is required. This sometimes could look like being more compassionate or having more empathy, but it also could look like being extremely detailed oriented and being able to point out errors that some may overlook. Another part is some of them enjoy and love mundane tasks. So we see a lot of them who love those repetitive tasks that you see in some manufacturer roles, that are great for individuals who have those different and special abilities. And the last part is it helps you as a business increase your market appeal, right? Hiring individuals with different abilities help you increase into the disability community. In North Dakota alone, we have about 1 in 7 individuals with a disability. And according to the CDC, that's about 150,000 adults within North Dakota that have a disability. So ensuring that your website is digitally accessible can increase online sales. but also ensuring that your physical space is accessible helps meet those individuals who may have a disability, but also those individuals that don't. So you can think about having a ramp helps individuals who are pregnant or those who have a stroller or those who are just carrying heavy inventory in and out of your business. It also just increases your appeal to a wider audience overall. Next slide, please. So I talked about differing abilities, but how does that relate to your business or the Fargo community as a whole? We've seen our clients in different roles from accounting to farming. We have a really great success story of a farmer who was able to utilize our adaptive equipment to be able to continue to farm on their family's land. Sometimes we'll see them in healthcare. We also assist financially with their education so they can get the skills that they need to be able to fill those gaps in the healthcare industries. So companies that we've helped hire our clients include like Hornbachers, the ARC, Northwest Auto Body, Sanford, Essentia, and so much more. Next slide. So I've talked about the benefits of hiring our individuals, but I wanted to share more about how in ways you can make your business disability friendly. The first part is digital accessibility, ensuring that you have clear job descriptions, whether that's on your website or on Indeed, is very important so that the people who are applying know what they're getting into. So whether that includes the weight requirements, how long they will have to be standing, or things like that, can help. Ensuring that you have easy to use digital content helps you align with the federal regulations for digital accessibility that is rolling out in the near future. So kind of getting ahead of it to ensure that you are digitally friendly will not only increase your market appeal to those individuals online, but it also makes sure that you are meeting those federal regulations. A simpler task that you might want to do or something that you can start today or tomorrow is being able to provide those resources to your employees or customers. And this could look like including your VR brochures in your orientation packets. There are a lot of individuals who might have a hidden disability or might not want to talk about their disability. So including those brochures in your orientation packet allows us to be able to address those individuals, and also including those brochures available to your customers showcases allyship with those who are in the disability community. Another thing to utilize is our tax incentives and state funding. So whether you utilize the state tax incentives I talked about through VR, whether that's on the job training or adult work experience or student work experience, you can also utilize other state fundings to help ensure that you are a disability friendly. So that there are some grants available through the Department of Economic and Development grants. But also the Department of Commerce has grants that are quarterly and sometimes annual that you could utilize as well to ensure that you are disability friendly. And the last part is training. So attending trainings like this or having a VR counselor or ADA person coordinator come in and do an ADA consultation. We can also provide your team with training on disability etiquette and assist you in other needs as well. Next slide. So lastly, we are here to help you. Vocational rehab is located in 8 different offices within the state of North Dakota. We are federal, so you'll hear next from from Minnesota side of VR, but with 8 different locations throughout the state, we can assist you with all the services I've listed in our previous slides, from ADA consultation, the VR services to businesses or trainings. And I listed some of the phone numbers so you can give a call if you have any questions or if there's any things that you'd like to specifically talk about. Next slide, please. And I kind of wanted to end this with a testimonial from our Employer of the Year under VR last year, Northwest Auto Body. They stated that there are so many opportunities out there that parents are nervous for kids to go into the trades because they think it's going to be a dirty job. He said, all trades are an art and people can make great careers and trades. With abundance of available jobs in the state, Johnson encourages businesses to connect with VR to help them meet with their workforce needs. It has been a win-win for Northwest Auto Body. Businesses should be there for everyone, he said. Some people have a few more hills to climb, but helping them be whatever they want to be, that makes a good business. So with that, I will wrap it up. I wanted to thank you all for your time. Once again, my name is Abari Eluzai. I'm located in the Fargo office. And if you'd like to learn more about disability in the workplace, here are some great resources that we have available. The slide will also be available for you too. Thank you all for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Abari. Just so everybody knows, I have posted some of those links in the chat for everyone, including the business success story. So if you want to read more about Northwest Auto Body, that is in there in addition to the resources that Abari has shared. And her contact information is on the page, so feel free to reach out to her directly should you have any more specific employer-related questions. So next up, I would like to welcome Jeff Bjornson. Jeff is with Minnesota Deed, and so he will be able to share more about the Minnesota side of services within vocational rehabilitation. Jeff, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heidi. Yeah, thanks for putting this together. It's always great to outreach with employers and talk about vocational rehabilitation. And the nice thing about this opportunity is we're partnering with the North Dakota side. I saw there was a good question in chat about what about for people that live on the Minnesota side, and there's a Minnesota vocational rehabilitation. Just FYI, Voc Rehab is in every state in the union. It's a federal program, so our main purpose is to help folks with disabilities access employment. So yeah, we're the Minnesota side, and kind of want to go through some of the highlights of our services here. So VR in Minnesota provides employment-related services to Minnesotans with disabilities to find and retain jobs, advance in their careers, and live independently in their communities. Basically, we're you know, I, for folks that don't know about Voc Rehab, I kind of like to explain to people that we're kind of like the job service for persons with disabilities. So our main goal is to help a person with a disability find just a regular job in the community that's open to persons with disabilities or persons without disabilities. We want to strive for integration, and we have a dual customer approach. We work with clients, but then people always ask, well, who is your customer? Well, it's the client, but it's also the employers that are out there, because we could not do our job without opportunities that exist in the communities where we live. Um, Minnesotans with disabilities who face significant barriers to achieving competitive integrated employment, that's one of our customers. It includes students and young adults with disabilities. We do a lot of transition work with the different high schools, and help those young adults make the transition from school to the work world. We all know it's a pretty big leap from school to the real world, and VR has staff in every school or assigned to every school to help those youth make that transition, youth with disabilities. So, but our other customers are employers, and they're a big part of what we do. We have business services representatives throughout the state, and we have specialized job placement counselors assigned to each team. And plus, we have a real robust kind of vendor system. So we hire agencies to kind of do the job placement for some of our folks. So you might see VR, and they're working with a third-party agency. In Minnesota, it's typically Productive Alternatives or Trans Am. So next slide, please. So we look at the whole person, and we take a look at what the specific disability-related factors are and what their interests, abilities, and skills are. And then we try and come up with an employment plan that matches those goals. Some of that might include self-employment. Some of it includes job carving. Some of it, I know there was a reference to, being creative with scheduling. Sometimes we run into difficulties with employers in terms of the employer has an 8-hour shift, and that's kind of a barrier for somebody with a disability who maybe only can work for a 4-hour stretch or works part-time. So we've got creative with that, and in working with employers to maybe staff that position with 2 part-timers. I know that's been something that we've done before. So everything is individual based, and each plan is kind of different. We don't. Some of our clients come into our offices and they ask, well, you know, is there a list of employers that you work with? Well, there are some employers that are more familiar or more commonly we work with, but we don't have a list of jobs that we just plug people into. So we rely on the interests of the person, creating an individualized plan. And then we rely on, just the general labor market to assist with placement of those individuals. Sometimes an employer might hire somebody with a disability, they don't even know it. We might be in the background. We might be very present. We might have a job coach and that sort of thing involved, and then you will definitely know about us. But sometimes you don't even know. So next slide, please. Yeah, studies have shown that hiring people with disabilities can improve your bottom line. I would have to say I've been in this field for over 25 years, and the number of people that we placed that have stayed with employers for 10, 15, 20 years, it's pretty common. Once a person gets a chance to show what they can do, and an employer is open to that hiring opportunity. A lot of those folks stay with that company for long periods of time. Turnover can be reduced. Sometimes working with a person with a disability expands your, just kind of understanding of people in general, and it can improve your culture and your consumer market. People see folks with disabilities working at your company, and they think, wow, this is a company that I'd like to work for too. They're open to hiring folks with all kinds of abilities. So I think there's been studies done where every dollar spent on VR is it's a 7-for-1 return on investment. So it does work, and a lot of people don't know about us. So we love these opportunities to explain what we do, who we are, how to get in touch with us, so that we are not a secret to everybody. We do have many different folks that we work with. I think the average caseload for a VR counselor is about 70 people. So, there will be a diverse talent pool on every VR counselor's caseload. And if you have a need for employment, the easiest thing to do is, and if you haven't pursued this but you're interested, the easiest thing to do is reach out to one of us, North Dakota or Minnesota, and we can tap into the people that we do have that are currently job seeking and try and match those folks up to you. We have employment specialists who you would work with to kind of go through all the details of some of our programs. The goal of all our programs, though, is to be simple. We don't want to be complicated for employers. Um, we there are also hiring incentives that we like to use a lot. I've mentioned this one, job tryout. We do a job tryout, and basically what it is usually it's a week long, and it might be 10, 20 hours a week. It's a way for the employer to get to know the employee and for the employee to, show their abilities and see if it's a good match for them. So it's a job tryout. It's no risk. It doesn't even, we pay the wages. There's no workers' comp you have to worry about. It's all done through a third-party reimbursement. So that's really sometimes employers might be hesitant to hire, and then we have one of our job placement specialists explain this job tryout. They say, "Well, this sounds kind of interesting. We can try it for a week and see if it works out for both the employer and the employee." And I tell you, about 90% of the time after that job tryout, the person ends up getting hired. So it's really a great tool that we've used to kind of bridge the gap between, I'm on the fence on hiring, or I want to give this a shot. Internships are something we do as well. Um, they're flexible. A lot of times with an internship, we might use that for somebody that is a person with disability, and we've helped them with some post-secondary training. Maybe they have an accounting degree. They don't have work experience, and they might want, they're having difficulty getting their foot in the door. So as everybody who is an employer knows, um, kids come out of school, they need specific training on the job related to the business needs on the job. So they might have the book knowledge, but they need kind of one-on-one to understand the business. And so this internship can be up to 260 hours. It can be full-time or part-time. And that allows the person to gain experience. There's no expectation for a hire on either of these either. So you can come into it and, hey, we'll try this out. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, there's no expectation of hire at the end. So next slide, please. For employers' benefit, we have what we call bite-sized learning. These disability inclusion modules were created to help in making your organization more welcoming for employees with disabilities. They can be, it's all virtual, so you can just log in and view a few of those as you need. Americans with Disabilities Act is coming up on 35 years since that was signed. There are a ton of resources on the links provided there in making your business more up to date with ADA policies, or if you have questions, you don't know how long you're going to remodel and you don't know how wide a door jamb needs to be, you can look those things up. So we've got a ton of resources, and there's really no wrong door. So if you wonder, okay, who do I contact? Reach out to any one of us. We get calls from people that might live in North Dakota, and through the process of conversation, we've okay, you live in Fargo or you live in Grand Forks. Here is the number to call there, and I'm sure that same thing happens in Minnesota. Next slide, please. Um, yeah, and we can provide consultation to to assist with disability related questions, identifying job accommodations, um, task analysis, obstacles to hiring. There's a federal program. Hopefully, you all know about WOTC. I mean, it's a great program. It's been around for a long time. It's super easy to use. That would provides a tax benefit for hiring a person with a disability. There's also the people with criminal backgrounds too, I think, are eligible for WOTC. So it's a great way to give a person another shot. Next slide, please. Yeah, there's been progress, but the employment rate for persons with disabilities is still pretty low. It's at 22%. And whereas the general population is at 65%. So there's still work to be done there. It's getting better. But we do find that people with disabilities are sometimes underemployed. You want to go to the next slide. And some of that is due to skills mismatch, or the employer is not perceiving or just understanding what some of the skills and abilities of the employee, and sometimes it's just fear, fear of the unknown. Everybody is like, oh, how do I do this? Well, talk to VR. That's why our jobs exist. We can help you with getting a person in the door and helping them be a success with your agency. Next slide, please. Yeah, current challenges of for underemployment is remote work. The pandemic created an opportunity for work from home, and while that's switching back a little bit more to in person, we did find that a lot of persons with disabilities benefited from this, and hopefully employers will still have that as an option. So we just want to match the employer's needs with the skills and abilities of employees that we work with, and we'll come up with a good outcome for you all. Next slide, please. Oh, this is good. Occupations. Everybody wants to know, oh, what kind of jobs do you help people get? Well, it is regular jobs in the community, like we said. Material moving, transportation, food prep, sales, and related are kind of the big ones. But we're just if we're not limited to just janitorial jobs. We place people in all kinds of different areas. Um, I think Heidi's going to share a success story towards the end here, but it's always good to hear a success story. We had a guy, just quickly, a success story. We have a truck driver who had a spinal cord injury, and everyone thinks, well, gosh, if you're a truck driver, how are you going to drive a truck with spinal cord injury? Well, the person has hand controls, and um, so we've been able to help this person through adaptive equipment maintain his employment, and he's actually he's super busy, and he's been doing this over 25 years. So those are kind of some of the examples of things we do. Um, and next slide, please. Yeah, and here's how you can get a hold of us. We're every county in Minnesota, and thanks so much for having us.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Like we said, mentioned earlier, we have services, reside along the river where the Fargo-Moorhead, West Fargo area. And so wanted to make sure that you guys got information for both North Dakota and Minnesota-based vocational rehabilitation services. So feel free to check out all of those links. But like I said, this is recorded and we'll be sharing this out afterwards as well. So our final presenters today are going to be Ben Zimmer and Greg Kaiser from the Vocational Training Center. So Ben and Greg, the floor is yours.
All right, so just a quick introduction. I am the Employment Services Coordinator for Vocational Training Center, or now referred to as VTC. I'll let Ben introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Zimmer. I'm the Supported Employment Manager here at VTC.
So I provide oversight, and Ben provides a lot of the groundwork for our services for the individuals we support. So we've been around since 1962. We provide a variety of services to help those overcome barriers and reach their full potential. Whether it's services like employment or day habilitation or family support, residential support, or even transitional services, we just strive to build a very strong, positive relationship with our individuals and those that support them. We try to create a very safe and welcoming environment and offer a range of engaging programs to our supported individuals, and be kind of creative in how we offer tools and opportunities to empower them to live their best life. And work plays a very important role in meeting the goals of our individuals. The name of the program, next slide, please. The name of the program is called Career Readiness Education and Training Experience. And that the mission of that program is to provide a blend of strategies and services supports designed to increase employment options and job retention for individuals with disabilities. We have a staff of 16 people. 13 of those are job coaches. We serve over 100 clients per year. And we serve those individuals in Fargo, Moorhead, Hillsborough, Mayville, and Hatton currently. So we have a broad category of who we serve. We serve those with sensory impairments, including visual, hearing, and then the deaf and blind. Physical impairments such as orthopedic impairment, brain or traumatic brain injury, and other health impairments that impact strength, vitality, and alertness, and even work tolerance. We serve those with cognitive disabilities that include individual disabilities where they might take longer to learn a task, learning disability where they have difficulty reading, writing, or math. And then some have developmental delays, conditions associated with reaching certain maturity levels, slower than average. And then we have mental health, which is multiple or combination disabilities where two or more disabilities exist, speech and language impairments, and autism spectrum disorder falls into that category as well. I'm going to let Ben take it from here. He's going to talk about the supported employment program.
Sounds good. So what is supported employment? It generally consists of two components. The first is kind of the getting started, the resume building, the application assistance, any assistance during the interview process, and also onboarding. Greg and I always talk about how the person wanting the job isn't wanting to onboard as their job. And onboarding can be very different than what they're signing up to do. And then the other part is first day on the job and beyond. So helping with orientation, being there for any training reinforcement, any barrier mitigation, could be like time management, administrative support, that could be time off requests, clocking in and out, attending trainings, and then eventually scaling back and fading our job coaching as needed to eventually the person could work independently. We coach with a wide variety of businesses, and we've been met with a variety of safety concerns. We run into objections from some employers that having a person with a disability or having a support person like a job coach there on site could be a safety concern and increase liability and risk. In the study cited on the bottom of this page, over 90% of employers who employed persons with a disability who required a support staff posed no more risk than employees without a disability, and liability was not impacted. Next slide, please. Kind of to go along with that, VTC has a fully operational wood shop that produces wood products for industrial and retail purposes. Our employees utilize a variety of saws, rippers, pointers, jacks, banding machines, sanders, whatnot. And all the VTC production associates that work there have a disability and are continuing to develop employability skills in preparation for participating in supported employment out in the community. There has not been an injury in the wood shop as a direct result of using these pieces of equipment in over a decade. Next slide, please. So increased risk and liability myths are not the only myths that limit opportunities for people with a disability when looking for work. In the same study, employers of people who have disabilities reported that misconceptions were not based on reality. Supported employees with disabilities are excellent or good in their overall job performance, 90%. Work harder or as hard as those with disabilities, 79%. More reliable or as reliable as those without disabilities, 81%. More punctual or as punctual as those with disabilities, 79%. And more productive or as productive as those without disabilities, 77%. Next slide, please. I just want to touch on job coaching. We thought that this was interesting. We typed in what is a job coach on ChatGPT, and this is what it came up with. A job coach works directly with the employee to strengthen their skills, build confidence, and adapt more effectively for their role, which leads to increased productivity, better time management, and stronger communication skills. Employees who receive support from a job coach are more likely to succeed and stay in their role, reducing turnover costs and promotes workforce stability. If the employee has a disability or learning difference, a job coach can help them navigate workplace expectations. Job coaches provide day-to-day support, freeing supervisors from having to micromanage. This allows managers to focus on their other responsibilities while ensuring the employee still gets the guidance they need. Job coaches tailor strategies based on the individual's needs and the employer's expectations, fostering sustainable growth and adaptation over time. Supporting job coaches sends a strong message that the company values growth, learning, and support. This can boost team morale, improve employer reputation, and attract talent. Job coaching is provided through vocational rehabilitation agencies or nonprofit programs, meaning the employer gets all the benefits without an additional expense.
So
that's all I
just
have.
One point I'd like to make on the slide that you see. We typed in how can a business benefit from having a job coach on site? And this is the quote that it came up with. So I thought that was interesting.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you, Greg and Ben, for sharing some insight from the Vocational Training Center here in Fargo. I'll make sure that I share out your contact information if people want to reach out to you just to learn a little bit more about what you guys do. Or feel free, if either of you want to drop that in the chat, that is fine as well. But the last thing I want to share with everybody today before we get to the question and answer part of our webinar, this is that video testimonial that Jeff had alluded to from someone who received VR services with Minnesota Deed and found success in their pursuit for employment. So I'm going to pull that up here and share it with you all. We should have sound, and this will just be a few minutes. Start it over.
My name is Blake. I live in Champlin, Minnesota, and I am a software engineer for a company called Infinite Campus. We provide K through 12 school districts with student information systems. While I was in high school, I was working with Transition Plus. We created an IEP, which is an educational plan. Part of my IEP included working with vocational rehab. I worked with vocational rehab throughout college. They helped me with career exploration. They helped me with tuition. They helped me prepare for interviews. So like with practice interview questions. They helped me build my resume. Through vocational rehab, I did receive benefits counseling. I had a benefits analysis done, which helped me picture of what to expect. When I first started out, I was definitely fearful of losing my benefits because they helped cover so much of my daily living routine. And I guess the biggest question about it was if the employment didn't work out, how was I going to get those benefits back, get back to the way things were while I could try again. But yeah, while I was in college, a classmate of mine told me about an internship that he had worked here at Infinite Campus, and he had suggested that it might be a good fit for me. And so I had applied here, and the internship turned into a job.
One of the things I really like about Blake is that he has a great attitude and is willing to attack anything that we throw at him. Blake is a software engineer. He impressed us with the technical knowledge he had and what he would be bringing to the team. He showed that he was ready for a full-time position and that he was going to be able to contribute to our team.
Getting into this job has opened up so many different things for me. It gives me a reason to get up out of bed every day. It gives me the opportunity to go do more things that I like to do, so I can go out with friends without really having to worry about whether I can afford to go out with my friends. Some of the other things I enjoy doing is I bowl on a bowling league. This year I actually purchased my own bowling ramp because a lot of times the equipment that's at the bowling alley is kind of beat up. So having my own ramp allows me to have a little more of a consistent game. From working with VR, I definitely consider myself successful and independent, which is very important to me. I want to be as independent as I possibly can be.
Okay, just felt like that was a really great and impactful story, something that you can find other video testimonials or information on the Deed website, but something that just kind of full circle, somebody who received services in high school, transitioning into the workforce out of high school and getting those VR services and that impact that made on their life and being able to get employment. So that is all we have today as far as information from our presenters. And at this time, if anybody has any questions, I'd like to open up the chat for anything that you may want to know. So feel free. Also, I think everybody has the ability to unmute themselves and turn on your camera. So if you'd like to do that as well, you are more than welcome. Otherwise, if our presenters have anything further they want to share, feel free to pop on as well. So well, as you guys ponder your questions, I want to also make sure that I share our feedback survey. So before we end today's session, I'd love for everyone to take a minute to pull out your phones, or I'm going to drop this link in the chat as well. It's just a few minutes, and what this survey does is it gives us feedback on today's session so that we are able to understand kind of what your thoughts are, as well as guide us in the creation of future Discuss, Connect, Reflect sessions that we'll be able to provide through the Drive for 5 initiative. Some key takeaways I guess I had, if I haven't seen any questions pop up, that I would encourage you to think about before you leave today, as far as within your companies, considering like, are there roles within your organization that could be restructured or carved to increase accessibility for somebody with differing abilities? What barriers do you face or perceive when considering hiring individuals, and kind of reflecting on that within your place of employment? Also, if you haven't, have you considered hosting job tryouts or internships? That's something that Jeff had talked about a little bit about for individuals. That's something that's not a cost to an employer, but might give you an opportunity to see if there is something that you haven't pursued yet, that maybe you're missing an opportunity to expand your workforce through those different areas. And then also, what supports or training would make you feel more confident in hiring from this talent pool? Some employers may have hesitation because they're not really sure where to start, how to make the process go smoothly, or what kind of modifications they might need to make to their hiring practices. And so just some thoughts to ponder as you all are thinking about things today and what we shared. So if there are no questions today, we'll give you a few minutes back in your day, but I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined us. Thank you to our presenters for sharing your expertise and information with us, both sides of the river. And as I mentioned earlier, I know that there are a lot of different resources and organizations within our community that provide similar services and or work within this arena. And so we'll be sure to make sure that we're sharing that out, or being able to share information related to employing individuals with differing abilities in the future. So just want to say thank you again, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day.
Thank you for having us.